So hello guys, it's 17, 7, 11, right? So and the air quality index is 255, very unhealthy. You know, today is Astami, so children are playing with firecrackers. So since from the morning, so it is very difficult to even breathe. So anyway, what I can do, but obviously their parents should also guide them so that even I have seen that many old age peoples are enjoying the firecrackers. They are not aware about the health implications. They should, because the particulate matter 2.5 and the greenhouse gas as well, and very dangerous gases emitting from the firecrackers. So sulfur dioxide, nitrogen dioxides, they are all causing acid rain and all things. So it is very difficult. But anyway, what I can do. But as a as a BPSC aspirant, I must say that this would be. I think there are much more. There's a need of uh, program which wholly focus on the banning, not banning, but wholly focus on the protecting the environment when it comes to Durga Puja, when it comes to especially the Diwali, right? Because time and again there are many judgment of Supreme Court, even the very famous judgment. Right, which bans or which actively prohibited the firecrackers between the around 10 p.m. or something. There is a Supreme Court judgment which says that you can't play with firecrackers, you can't burn firecrackers between this time in night. That is, I think, 9 or 8 p.m. to 12 p.m. Something that like that. So this is a judgment. Still, this is not adhered into spirit, right? So this is what I can say anyway. So today, I because since I'm studying ethics from past 15 days, and I have very firm interest in this topics and this interest ethics, especially in social psychology topics. So what I would like to do something what is called the quote, right? Because in quote, I found very difficult to remember, I exactly produce in the given time our UPSC answer writing or civil service examination. So today I thought let's discuss the some code so that we can have a quick understanding, and we can have remember we can exactly remember the code as it is, and we can actively produce, right? So that because in time is very short. So I thought let's discuss quote, and quote basically very famous quote of Gandhiji, especially Gandhiji life itself is my life is my message. So that's why we should always learn uh, from Gandhiji. And I have also some examples, ethics, right? So anyway, first quote is that India's silent revolution. That when threats are global, when, when threats are, you can see the noise of firecrackers. So anyway, there's also a conflict between the freedom, right to freedom, and also right to conserve environment. But again, this is when law is there, obviously the right to environment will be prevail, right? So anyway, the what I'm saying is that there is a quote like India's silent revolution, and this is famous quote by PM Modi, that he says that when threats are global, the response cannot be just local. See, when threats are global, response cannot be just and local. Each nation is working on strategies against them. Every nation or each nation is working strategies against them. But what we do within our border is no longer enough. What we do within our border is no longer. So what it does mean, when threats are global, response cannot be local. Response cannot be just local. Each nation is working on its strategies against them. But what we do within our border is not longer enough. It says that we have to focus on our capability to enhance. We have to enhance our capability. Whatever we are doing, not just So we have to again enhance our strategies. So other quote is that PM Modi said on ocean blue economy, because Indian government is actively focusing on the leveraging the economic interest from the ocean based economy, and also because we you know that India is a largest, one of the largest or major exporter of ocean food, right? So this is very great thing, and large chunk of revenue, foreign revenue coming into India, just because I mean not just America, but there are many Indians, there are many foreigners or foreign country are taking this ocean food energy, ocean food, Uh, so what he said that to me the blue chakra is India's flag. To me the blue is India's flag represent the potential of ocean economy, right? So it is like blue chakra in India's flag, and that blue chakra. So you can see the magnanimity of this statement that to me India's to me the blue chakra in India's flag is represent the potential of ocean economy. So this was a quote way back I have written down in my notes, but I could not remember that thing. Now there are many quotes. My notes are also segregated. Yes, yes. There's a quote, a very famous quote which I have jotted on one 5 years way back. So the quote is that the problem is not how to wipe out all differences. The problem is not how to wipe out all the differences, but how to unite with all the differences intact. So it is like you can relate with the diversity. It is not problem. The problem is not how to wipe out all the differences, how to wipe out all the different differences, but how to unite with all differences intact. There are several differences there, but the problem is that how to unite that differences intact. This is a major problem. The problem is not to wipe out all the differences. The major problem is that how to unite all that differences intact. This is one thing. And another quote is that we cross infinitely with every step. We cross infinitely with every step. We meet eternity in every second. What a quote. We cross infinity with every step. So whatever the decision, whatever the moment we are living, so we are just passing out the time of universe. So what is saying that we cross infinity with every steps and we meet eternity in every second. So it's like we are sensing the law of universe, that universal law of nature we are sensing out. So we are experiencing within us, right? So we cross infinity with every second, every step. We cross infinity with every step. We meet eternity in every second. So this is the importance of eternity in every second. Other is that the main object of preaching is not to give explanation, but to knock at the door of the mind. What a quote! The main object of teaching is not to give information or not to give explanation, but to knock at the door of the mind. So दिमाग की बत्ती जो है वो खुलनी चाहिए. टीचिंग का वही मकसद है जो दिमाग की हमारी बत्ती है वो खुलनी चाहिए. So the main object of teaching is not to give explanation, but to knock at the door of the mind. Another Abraham Lincoln quote is that freedom is the last best hope of the earth. It is a freedom which is a last and best hope of the earth. So it gives the importance. It enunciates the importance of freedom. It is a freedom is not just the last but best hope of the earth. Gandhi said that non-violence is not a weapon of the weak. Non-violence is not a weapon of the weak. It requires a great character and courage of strength. So until unless you won't have a great character and courage of strength, you won't carry or you won't able to perform non-violence tasks. So non-violence is not weapon of the weak. It is requires a great character and courage of strength, Gandhiji. Thus, as per Gandhiji, non-violence is not a garment to put and to put or of at will. We as society must place at center of democratic thought. It is not like garment just we just put off and put on. So it is like we as a society must place at the center of democratic thoughts. So it is not a no, this is one thing. So one is not wise who fears for his life. सोक्रेटिस ने कहा था कि वन वन इज नॉट वाइज. वो बुद्धिमान नहीं है जो अपने who fears for his जो अपने लाइफ के बारे में वो डर रखता है. Who fears for his life. What is not wise certainly who fears for his life. Socrates. Following Kant dictum, one must not be pessimistic as what one out to do one can always do. See what I can do, what one out to do one can always do. So it shows the innate potentiality within me that one should not be pessimistic because one out to do can always do. So जो आप करने की क्षमता रखते हैं वो हमेशा आप कर जाते हैं. So one is not Socrates is very famous. One is not wise. One is not wise who fears for his life. So Socrates said that, and Kant. What Kant says that Kant says that one must not be pessimistic. One must not be pessimistic, as one out to do, one can always do. This is very important. If you out to do, you can always do. So it means that it is similar to like it is man is a product of how what he thinks he becomes. It is similar quote which is a quote given by Gandhi that what man is a product of how what he thinks he become. That's why Kant, as Immanuel Kant, also said that one should not be very pessimistic. What one out to do, one can always do. Okay. Yes, all the quote of Gandhi I have received from it. See, the notes should always be organized. Otherwise, you will face very problem. I'm telling you. So we have been given the instruction that once you make notes on the newspaper, yeah, initially you can make it, but you can take the notes on newspaper, but later on just you sit on the newspaper itself. But that's newspaper should be united or organized. Otherwise, you will face very lot of problems. So what is there are many quotes of Gandhiji that and it's very famous that we have to discuss there. Gandhiji once said that it is health that is real wealth and not a piece of gold and silver. It is health that is real wealth, not a piece of gold and silver, right? Obviously, there is simple saying that health is wealth. So, but what Gandhi said that it is health that is real wealth and not piece of gold and silver. If your health will be good, then you will already able to earn a lot of the silver and a lot of the gold. So this is one thing. It is health that is real wealth and not a piece of silver and coin, silver and in gold. Second quote is that to lose vessels is to lose the battles. So it gives the importance. It enhances the importance of what is a very important essence. That if you lose patience, you lose battles. To lose the patience is to lose battles. Speak your mind, even if you are minority of one truth is still the truth. He says that speak your mind, no matter what you are minority or majority. Even if you are in a minority, speak the truth. Speak your mind. Even if you are minority of one, of one, the truth is still the truth. जो सच होगा वो हमेशा सच होगा. Even if you are in minority, the truth is truth, right? So this is one thing. Knowledge gained through experiences, and it is said that knowledge gained through experiences is far superior and many times far more useful than bookish knowledge. It's like yes, you know, even our experiences teach much more than what we study in our books. So certainly both things matters, but experience is very much matters. So it is experience, it's knowledge gain much gain through experiences is far superior and many times more useful than books knowledge. Fifth quote is that no man lose his freedom except through his own weakness. So it is your weakness. It is your weakness through which you lose your freedom. So what even in the uh, Doctor, even in Swami Vivekananda he has said that freedom is weakness. On the same line, in Gandhi is also saying that no man lose his freedom except through his own weakness. So no man lose his freedom except through his own weakness. So you must strengthen yourself. You must be strong within yourself. Otherwise, enemy will attack your inner weakness. It is action, not the fruit of actions, that is important. Obviously, Kant dictums, Gandhiji famous dictum, we should always focus on means rather than ends. We should, I mean, Niskam Karma, the concept of Niskam Karma is also saying about thing. It is action, not the action of fruit, that's important. Strength does not come from physical capacity, it comes from indomitable will. This is very lovely quote, which I really admire it, that what Gandhiji said that, you know, uh, fill your heart with indomitable will. This is something good. So it is saying that strength does not come from physical capacity; it comes from indomitable will. It just comes from indomitable will. So it is like if your will be strong, then you will already succeed in life. Your because it is indomitable will is giving you the strength, right? So strength does not come from the physical capacity; it comes from indomitable will. This is one thing. You must you must not lose faith in humanity. Yes. You must lose faith in humanity. Humanity in an ocean is an ocean is an ocean. If few drops of the ocean are dirty, the ocean does not become dirty. So humanity has been compared with the ocean. Humanity is ocean. If few drops of oceans become dirty, it is not like that ocean becomes dirty. So this is one thing. When you are right, you have no need to be angry. So Gandhi said that when you are right, you do not have to be angry. When you are wrong, you have no right to be angry. So agar aap galat hain, you have no right to be angry. This is whenever questions on angry comes, that you can write that when you are right, you would not have when you are right. So you don't require angry. But even if you are wrong, you should not have right to angry. This is one thing. If you want to reach a real place in this world, we should start educating children. Obviously, the importance of socialization is that we should educate our children. Live simply so that others may live simply lives. This is very Geo Arjuna to live simply so that others may simply live. You should live like a very simple life so that others may also live like simple. Energy like that it's energy home. Who can understand about it? Energy. Every home is a university, and every parents are teachers. What a great quote. You can use in the socialization topics like every home is a university, and every parents are the teachers. Every parents are the teachers. Every home is university, and their parents are the teachers. Fear of disease killed more men than disease itself. It is a fear which killed man's more than disease itself. So once you say Socrates says one is not wise who fears about his life. So that's on the same line you will find that fear of disease killed more man than disease itself. So it's like fear, even so do not have fear. Satisfaction lies in the effort, not in the attainment. Uh, not in attainment. Full effort is full victory. So satisfaction lies in the effort, not in attainment. Even if you're not able to, achieve your goal. So, but what is matter is that satisfaction lies in the effort. The most important thing that you have made your effort. So the satisfaction lies in the effort, not in attainment. Full effort is full victory. Even if you have given full effort, and it is full victory. The true measure of any society can be found in how it treats its most vulnerable members. So the true measure of any society can be found in how it treats its most vulnerable members. So this can code usually in the sociological topic of law or in topic which is related to the vulnerable section of India, people like you, like women and SC ST community, right? Children as well. So this is like a true measure of any society. depends or can be found in how it treats its most vulnerable member. So if you treat your most vulnerable member very badly, then you are not a good society. This is one thing. The 16 quote is that freedom is not wrought. It is not worth having if it does not include the freedom to make mistakes. Yeah, what I mean. So it emphasizes the focus on mistakes. Freedom is not worth having if it does not include the freedom to make mistakes. Freedom is not worth if it does not include the freedom does not include the freedom to make mistakes. I call him religious who understand the suffering of others. So if you understand, if you are, I will call you religious only when you will understand the suffering of others, unless and until, because the whole purpose of religion is to alleviate the suffering of the people and masses. That's why I will call you religious when you able to remove the suffering of others, when you able to alleviate the suffering of others. I will call him religious. So Gandhi said, and Gandhi's famous dictums and saying, an eye for an eye will end up making whole the world believe. So it shows a revengeful attitude. Faith must be enforced by reason. When faith becomes blind, it dies. So this also gives importance. We have to review the faith. We have to check. We have to test with litmus paper, and we have to check the faith on litmus paper. So it means that we must have to include the religion. We must have a reason, right? Reasons, right? Rationality. We should include the rationality aspects in the faith. So faith should be uh, detected on the litmus paper of rationality, right? So faith must be enforced by reason. Who, when faith becomes blind, it dies. So when faith becomes blind, it dies. This is very important. There is a higher court than court of, this is a very famous statement. I love this statement. There is higher court than court of justice. That is court of the conscience. It supersedes all other courts. It is very important. There is higher court than court of justice. It supersedes all other courts. Other quotes are that 21st quote is that I have not a shadow of doubt that society would be much clearer and healthier if there was less resort to law courts than there is. Justice should become cheap and expeditious. Today, it is the luxury of the rich and the joy of the gambler. Justice should become cheap and expeditious. So it's not should be cheap, but it also be expeditious. But today's India is very difficult. So it is not, though it is cheap, but it's not expeditious. Even it is also not cheap. So today it is a luxury of rich and joy of gambler. So it is luxury of the rich and joy of gambler. Very statement. Literary education is of no value if it is not able to build the uh, sound character. Yes, literary education is of no value. Literary education is of no value if it is not able to build up a sound character. So it emphasizes the moral values of education. So one should impart moral values or moral education to children. So literary education is not of it is not of value if it is not able to build a sound character. This is the same quote where you will find that this you know home is a home is a home is a university, and parents are the teachers. So this is same quote where even there was one quote on education that what was a quote a very famous quote that yes, uh, which also emphasizes on the what is called the building a moral factor of the children, right? Yes, every home is university and the parents are the teachers. Anyway, so literary education is not of value; it is not able to build a sound character. The essence of all religion is one, only their approaches are different. So essence of every religion is one, only their difference or approaches are different. So if you talk about essence of all religion, it is one, only their approaches are different. Intolerance is itself a form of violence. Even intolerance is itself a form of violence and obstacle to the growth of true democratic spirit. So it is obstacle to the growth of true democratic spirit. The law of sacrifice is, the problem is that intolerance is itself a form of violence. Mind you, intolerance is itself a form of violence. Even Gandhi said that poverty is itself a form of violence. So apart from poverty, intolerance is itself a form of violence and a obstacle to the growth of true democratic spirit. So when there will be intolerance in our society, it is obstacle to the true growth of study. So there is a very good quote. on tolerance, like uh, the law of sacrifice is uniform. The law of sacrifice is uniform throughout the world. So there is sacrifice. The law of sacrifice is uniform throughout the world. To be effective, it demands the sacrifice of the bravest and the most spotless. Right? The law of sacrifice is uniform throughout the world. To be effective, it demands the sacrifice of the bravest and most spotless. Right? This is the one truth. Also, in this our core session, I also would like to discuss Michel Foucault. Very, very, very great personality, Michel Foucault, right? So Michel Foucault said that. So basically, Michel Foucault was French postmodernist, right? So he belonged to the postmodernist approach, right? So what he says about power is that power is a diffuse rather than applies. Power is not concentrated; it is diffuse, and rather than it is concentrated, embodied and enacted rather than poses. It is embodied and enacted rather than poses. Discursive rather than purely discursive and constitute agent rather than being deployed. So very complexity. He went into the complexity power. It is not a centralized. It is rather than it is diffused. It is not a poses, but it is enacted and embodied. It is not a purely courtesy, but it is discursive. It is also and it is not being deployed by someone, but it is constituent agent. So it means the power is something which is inherent in people. It is not like that. It is a people who drives power. I mean, it is a sees power. So power is already within us. It means that it talks about the unit power of ourselves. We all carry or we all possess power in another way. So he says power is everywhere and comes from everywhere. Power is everywhere and comes from everywhere, and power is also a major source of discipline. So this is a source of discipline, right? From power, discipline arises. And conformity, disciplinary power absorbed in administrative system and social service. He also talked about disciplinary power absorbed in administrative service and social service. 18th century Europe, such a prison, school, mental hospital. He says that this disciplinary power is absorbed in administrative system and social service. So in administrative systems and social service, 18th century यूरोप में तुम्हारा disciplinary power absorb देखा गया. Such as prisons, you will find that prisons, schools, mental hospitals. A key point about his approach is that if power transcends politics, the power transcends politics and sees power as an everybody, every day socialized and embodied phenomena. That's why state-centric power struggles, including revolution, do not always lead to change in social order. So that's why it also shows the why in India, even in the world, the revolution does not bring change in social order because uh, because is that power transcends politics. So the importance of power is that it even also transcends the politics and sees power as an everybody socialized and embodied phenomena. And this power is seen as a everybody socialized. So it is since it is there in everybody. Uh, so state-centric power struggles, including revolution, not always equal. Because since state also possesses power, but even all people also possess power. That's why not state not able to bring a transformative change like revolution in a society. Because even people are if people are not divided power, if people are also powerful, that's why you will find that state would not able to bring a or revolutionary change. That's what meaning of the power concept. So it is diffusing, it is pervading all. People are also possess power. It is totally pervading. So Durkheim is a very important thinker. Durkheim also says that uh, this is another topic or discussions we have. So Durkheim says a very important personality who wrote on the suicide right. So Durkheim says that social facts, anominy. Uh, so he argues that societies have need. So societies have need to create a social solidarity in order to keep the people within a sense of purpose and to teach them how to behave appropriately. It's very important that Durkheim says that society, he says that society need to create a social solidarity. Unless and until we won't have social solidarity, so people, it, it is very difficult to have sense of purpose within people. So So society should must place must bring what is called the social solidarity at the center. And why? Just to give people within a sense purpose. Because if you have social solidarity, it shows that it is having a sense of purpose to you, and to teach them how to behave appropriately. So it also focuses on the behavioral aspects, that society must place the what is called the social solidarity at the center, also and also teach people how to behave, purposefully or appropriately. This is also an important aspect. This is a thing that is always has been talked about by the time, that apart from the power mechanism talked about by the Michel Foucault, right? A lot of notes are there. So, few minutes back we have discussed that strength does not come from the physical capacity, rather it comes from the indomitable will. What does mean? The code holds its significance because it is not a time bound code specific to a certain condition. It holds a considerable value in its true essence, as it encompassing free thought and brute force, and suggesting that thought and values have prevailed much more than strength. It was the knowledge, the never to die spirit. So it does what does mean? It is a knowledge that is never died spirit, and it is a thought and value that has prevailed much more than strength. So because will is nothing but your strength, it is your thought, your independent thought and freedom, and that is all pervading, and it is much more stronger than the strength. So our history is filled with the great achievers who showed enormous willpower to achieve their dreams. Radharam Mohan Rai also reformed regulatory study systems from India, and was opposed even by his own mothers, and who took part in processes against him. So even he was opposed even by his own mother, who took part in processes against him. For could Ram Ram Mohan survived the wrath of his own mother, who gave birth to him. So even he was at a time when he was against his mother. So it is saying that it would have certainly taken a lot of courage and willpower to speak against the wrong practices and oppose the firmly. Famous revolutionary Bhagat Singh and Professor that threw bombs in Central Legislative Assembly, who and gave a self-arrest, that is indomitable will, that as a plan. It was a very planned self-stretch. They could have fled easily, but they did not choose not to show and face the trials during which they could present their case to the whole world. The courage and willpower showed by them in doing so could make anyone wonder which is hardcore willpower and gunpower. So here you have to think what is that gunpower, willpower, and brute forces, and what is called the die spirit, right? So this is self-erased, right? Thomas Alva Edison, someone asked him that were not you are tired or demotivated doing such tiresome processes. He replied, "No, my friend, doing those 100 failures, I list 100 bit of not to make an electric bulb." So obviously, this is very famous. So such poetry approach and willpower made him succeed and produce more than 100,000 patents in his reign. Famous scientist Stephen Hawking and famous musician Mozart, both of them were physically disabled. So even the Stephen Hawking were just physically disabled, and Mozart was a very famous musicians, and he have disabled, but both they produce some of the finest discoveries in science and music which we know. So Stephen Hawking's importance. So you can include the examples of science, it's science. Abraham Lincoln, who became the president of America, failed in business. Yes, the story about Abraham Lincoln is very much, I can say, very sad that he failed in business. He failed. He lost all his property in trials in court. Lost his wife. Had nervous breakdown. Lost elections to senator post, speaker post, and vice president post before finally being selected directly for president. Before finally being selected directly by president, ultimately he lost the post of vice president, the speaker post, senator post, what we call all, and all he lost the property, he lost wife. So and also he had nervous breakdown, lost election to senator. So before becoming the before becoming the president, we abolished slavery, led America united and strengthened the government in his history. It's the bloodiest civil war that had given up during any stage life or lost hope, then the world would have lost a great leader and reformer. During Battle of Longewala in 1971, Pakistan launched a huge offensive mission against India in which more than 60 tanks and 300 infantry participated, but they were held back by a group of 100 Indian soldiers who fight with them until reinforcement arrived and gained one of the biggest victory world has ever seen. So the Battle of Lojewala, this is very unheard history. Everyone should know that there was a Battle of Lojewala where just there was just 100 there was just 100 Indian soldiers and Pakistan having 60 tanks and 3,000 infantry, and both Indians resisted them. So and finally another troops or Indian supply help arrived to help the Indian soldiers, 100 Indian soldiers. So Battle of Lojewala is showing what it is showing those indomitable will of the 100 soldiers who resisted finally the onslaught or advancement made by the Pakistani that 3,000 soldiers and 60 tanks. The Battle of Lojewala is remembered in history in 1971. So USA invaded Vietnam and was defeated thereafter by fighting more than 100 decades. So even the USA invaded Vietnam and was finally defeated thereafter fighting for more than decades. So even USA citizens led a very massive protest against the US government that what you are doing even 10 days 10 10 years have been passed, we won't able to defeat the Vietnam, such a small country. So it is Vietnam indomitable will that finally led to the success. Vietnam was nothing compared with the USA in forms of equal strength, but still they have encouraged to face enemy and never to give up. So finally Vietnam has said strength does not come from it. So we have seen that how it is. So, right. So in the present day world, two such weakness is on display. The civil servant are selected after the most demanding process in the world. The recommended candidates are persons of highest caliber and capacity, but they too at the times get tempted to corrupt practice in the list of wealth. This is a stark contrast to Gandhi's claim that poverty is a loss from injustice. Evil partnered to turn rich biodiversity into barren land. So evil partnered turned rich biodiversity into much barren land. Emerson argued that development requires capacity building. Yes, the capacity approach of Emerson is very famous and it is cherished in the world. That the Emerson basically argues that human development requires the capacity building. Yes, it is needed that most it is needed that the most vulnerable and empowered it is needed that the most vulnerable and are empowered to exercise their rights and what choices. It is requires extending health and education. It requires skill development. So what does it mean? It means that government should focus on the skill development, government should finance the capacity building approach, it should exercise, government should empower with the rights, right, and what give them choices. This requires standing health and education. Governments should focus on this thing and integration of vulnerable sections into mainstream society. This is the perpetrators and the world in and the able in this society need to be sensitized. Yes, we have to reform our society uh, from law angle. What does mean that the perpetrators and the able in the perpetrators and the able in his society need to sensitize to the moral responsibility, to humanity and justice of humanity. The Mount Teresa efforts of poverty alleviation in the Kolkata slums in 1970. So this is example of compassion. This is example of empathy that where Mother Teresa, who worked for poverty alleviation in Kolkata slums in 1917. The spirit of service to mankind as highest service to God. needs to be ingrained in the socialization structure itself. So when as far as the spirit of service to mankind is concerned, we should have ingrained this in society itself, the structure. The moral compass of society needs to align with the spirit of Sarvodaya to Antyodaya. The Sarvodaya Sabok Sabhi Kautanu, Thanu, no, let everyone, every people in society rise, and we have to from Antyodaya, we have to make them Sarvodaya. So also, I mean, Antyodaya is same as Antyodaya is those who are lying, those who are in the lowest rungs in society, right? We have to make them lifted up, right? So that's what important aspect of Antyodaya does. So we have to give them ladders so that they can they can they can uh, uh, they can be at the highest echelon, or what is called the order, by but through that later. That that whole concept of Antyodaya and Sarvodaya is what the thing. So Gandhi was very fond of basically fond of using the traditional medicine, because in his book the Hind Swaraj, which has been written around 1919, 99, right? It's a novel, right? So when Morley Mito reforms have to pass. So while he was writing, so he was also against the what is called the modernizations, typical modernizations, unleashed by the British. So he was also against the doctors even. He says the doctors have chain or trap the poor masses. Also, uh, but they have chained them, because most of the poor people, uh, you know, have to come to doctors for the treatment every time. So every time poor comes and doctor exploits, and why doctor exploits? Because it is a doctor which is at the head of the realm, and finally because doctors are not giving a very efficient treatment to the poor, and it is still happening. There are many doctors are doing this. So what Gandhi said, Gandhi was totally against the British doctors, what you can say when called the genic doctors. So Gandhi was very fond of taking the Ayurvedic medicine. So Gandhi knowledge of Ayurveda gained just from the books. He was also able to cure his ailing son, who was on his death bed. His self-learning and experiment in vegetarianism. So we should always learn from Gandhi that he was a vegetarian, not just to boast of other people, but I love I love to eat this what is called the green leaves and vegetables. So his self-learning or experiments, his self-learning and experiments in vegetarianism help him discover many useful about human body, which help him lead a healthy life even in old age. So he was just Gandhi was very curious in nature. So he was doing experiment on everything. That's why he have written a book called the there are many stories where Gandhiji exposed himself and he did not feel very bad. So Gandhi didn't feel very bad. So even Gandhi said that there was a day when I went to the brothels, and where I have and after even because of my friends' compulsions, and I left this brothels, and I came to the home, and finally he regretted later on, and he writes in his book. Even there was one incident when Gandhi writes that when his father was dying. So when his father was dying, he had some. Gandhiji is writing that in his book that Gandhiji said that I had some sexual you can say desire at the time when Gandhi was dying. So this is very kind of explaining about himself. So it takes guts. It takes very indomitable will. But in the language of Gandhi, and courage that you are talking about yourself in a book that. So that's why Gandhi said, "My life is my mission. My life is my message. So my life is my open chapters where anyone can read it." That's why Gandhi was very much interested in about doing experiments. So his knowledge of Satyagraha, which he used in South Africa, was immense useful in the struggle for freedom in India. Besides there has also been instances in his life when he regretted unexpected death of his father, who had been consistently ill for days. He thought of not being able to be on his side at time of his death did not leave him for many days. This excerpt from his life suggests that death is the natural course, but one should always be on his trials for the arrival so as to avoid any regret. That can't be parented, but one sure can be ready for it, as one has been quoted by Emma Rowling in her uh, famous that is Harry Potter series. In lies, last enemy to be destroyed is death. Last enemy to be destroyed is death. So one should not the whole topic of discussion is that one should not fear about that. Even Socrates has said that one is not one who fears about his death. So Gandhi is also saying that one should not fear death. That even the stoicism is that is saying that we should utilize our times and we should not think about that how much times we have left, but we should think about how we are living or enjoying our whole 1 second moment in those amount of time. It does not matter that how much amount we have lived in this earth. What it matters that how well we are living in given time period. So that's what moment. That's what matters. So task need to be destroyed in death. So even Harry Potter, M.K. Rowling, M.S. Rowling is saying that. So learning is a prerequisite for civilization. So now comes another topic. So learning is prerequisite for civilization. Copernicus' theory of Earth revolution around the sun has provided a base for the further space studies. Isaac Newton's works was used by scientists to carry it further. So what does mean that learning is prerequisite for civilization? So without learning, you can't have pure civilized because what Copernicus was thinking that Earth revolution is about that Earth is revolving around the sun. Yes, okay, provided base for the further space. I mean, Copernicus' theory of Earth revolving because it was he was against heliocentric theory where he according to him that Earth is I think Copernicus. No? I'm doubtful whether he proposed heliocentric theory or after him heliocentric theory concept arrived. No, I think he was the one who talked about the heliocentric theory. That means Earth is revolving around the sun. It is not the sun at the center, and Earth is revolving. It is the Earth that is revolving around the center, around the sun. So and even also Isaac Newton also have a nonsense and carry forward the work to carry it further. Among all these rats race, there are people who do dare to live their life and follow their dream. It also talks about the moment we live. Another aspect is that effect that rat rat race has our relationship. So it's like a rat. We should not live like a rat. There are people who do dare to live their life and follow their dreams. So Gandhi, in his autobiography, has clearly talked about the burden one is left with after missing the chance to spend one last moment with his loved one before his death. By giving excerpt about his father's death, the reason that civilization reaches this far because the reason that civilization reaches this far because of the observational self-learning by great scholars of the part and not due to the lessons given to them in schools. It is obviously observational learning that really matters, not just lessons which we receive in school. In this context, there can't be better example than of Isaac Newton and the fortunate examples. No, we are going to talk about mostly intelligence topic that it is very important, and I think we all are like mostly intelligent people, so we are not so much mostly intelligent people because it requires time to develop this ideas, to develop this out. What are the uses of emotional intelligence in administration? See, basically, emotional intelligence refers to that ability to understand our own and others' emotions, right, and manage our own and others' emotions in order to guide our behavior. Otherwise, unless and until we won't understand our emotions, we won't manage our own emotions as well as we would not able to guide our behaviors. We would not able to do great things in our life. So it is very important. Even Daniel Goleman said that for success of work, uh, uh, you know. Uh, about 80% of about what matters is that 80% matters emotional intelligence and only 20% matters IQ, that is intelligence percent. So so we have to make if our work has to be made successful, then obviously this is things emotional intelligence requires, right? Because when you will reach at the when you will command the very highest position in any job or any company, so what matters is that not IQ intelligence person. At that office, you will require emotional intelligence people because you have to deal with a lot of the people. You have to handle the stress, right? So and this stress handling comes with emotional intelligence, right? So EI refers to emotional intelligence refers to ability to our ability to be aware of one's emotions, understand and control them both with respect to the oneself and interpersonal relationship. Yes, it has my mm, so it has various applications in administrative practices, leadership and social management. Yes, leadership is very important, and social management is there by creating a healthy work culture. EI, so by creating a healthy work culture, so it is social management is very important and leadership is very important. EI is what separates a mere manager from leader. So because if you are leader, then you are obviously possessing the what's called EI, and if you are manager, I don't want to claim. So, example empathy displayed by K. Krista, a woman inspector by herself carrying the corpse of unidentified woman for 2 kilometers because she play a leaders while leadership. Example K. Krista. So example is that K. Krista, a woman inspector who by herself carrying a corpse of unidentified women to 2 kilometers. So K. Krista is woman inspector. Second point is that effective decision making. So EI also help in decision making. How comes moving beyond the taking purely rational decision? EQ helps one assess social and emotional cost of decision. For example, appraisal for time consequences in displacing many at time. So because with the help of emotional intelligence, emotional quotient, we would have to take not just a purely rational decision, but we have to also take account of the social and emotional cost. So social and emotional cost because it leads to effective decision making. So third point is the communication. It is established with the various subordinates. It established with the various subordinates through understanding of their concerns and responding to them. So it also enhances our communication power because it established with the various subordinates through understanding their concerns and responding to them for their effective involvement in their job. So because if you if I if emotional intelligence will be there in you within you, then you will also care about your subordinates, and it will establish with the various subordinates or subordinate and superior relationship. So you will understand your subordinate concerns and you will respond as per and act accordingly. So this is one thing. The fourth point is that negotiation and diplomacy. Yes, it is very important. Diplomacy, international relations is very important. Why? Because the most important diplomatic breakthrough have been due to the effective emotional intelligence. Yes, using the non-official channel and methods of persuasion. Non-official, that is what is called back channel, right? Back channel diplomacy, what we call. So there's a negotiation between diplomat of the two countries, right? So because we have great examples like when it comes to diplomacy, then we have shown our diplomacy level nuclear deal of 2008, right? It is called back channel talks. So negotiation diplomacy is very important because the most diplomatic breakthrough have been due to effective emotional intelligence using the non-official channels. So we have used non-official channels and methods of persuasion. This is very important. So emotional intelligence also means the methods of persuasion and non-official channel in nuclear deal of 2008. Right? That is called back channel talks. Public orientation is very important. So public orientation responsiveness to people demands creates public trust and efficiency in policy implementation. The public orientation means responsiveness to people's demand. Responsiveness to people's demand creates public. If you are responsiveness to people's demand, then if you create public trust, it's very important. It is very important. Public orientation is very important because public should have trust in systems in the administration. So responsiveness to people demands creates public trust and efficiency in policy implementation. So if people will be people will trust you, it will help certainly in policy implementation. Example: Operation Suleimani, Kerala food program. It feed poor, right? Operation Suleimani, Kerala food program feed poor. Abhishek Pallav worked in Chhattisgarh, doctor turned IPS officer in Chhattisgarh, treating ailing family of Naxal. So there was Doctor Abhishek Pallav, who was doctor, who was working, and he turned out to be IPS officer, and he was also treating the Naxal. So what does mean? So it is like responsive to your people's need, and you finally it helps in public trust. So through this act, you are trying to gain public trust in system. So Abhishek Pallav and other Operation Suleimani, Kerala, where food program uh, help to treat poor. Six is that helps ones in dealing with stress. Yes, it's very important. It helps in dealing with stress with obstacles, having mental pressures, wars, and political pressures by trying to remain calm, driving from stoicism. Yes, you want to always remain calm because what is within you is not there everywhere. So what is important that it helps you dealing with stress and with obstacles and heavy mental pressures of work and political pressures by trying to remain calm, driving from stoicism. And Krishna Sthita Pragya is very important because Krishna is also saying about Sthiti Pragya, right? Pragya and emotional regulation. AI does helps in civil servant dealing with the real life constraint of public life while keeping going implementation the law merely in a letter. Social reform. Uh, yes. So how we can enhance AI? We can enhance AI through mission Karmyogi training and recruitment testing. Right. So these things we can also enhance. We can impart the AI. So I would also like to discuss about All India Service Conduct Rule 1968. All India Service Conduct Rule 1968. Right. Just one second. So, so we have seen the whole the emotional intelligence very important. Now we are going to see how All India Service Conduct Rule 1968, uh, which guides civil servant behavior attitude. So All India Service Conduct Rule 1968 says that every member of civil service shall maintain integrity and honesty. Integrity, I believe, is a very uh, significant values pervading most of the values like compassion, okay, kindness, okay, but integrity should always remain within you. So integrity and honesty is very important traits which is seeking by the All India Service Conduct Rule 1968. And political neutrality is very important. You have to be absolutely neutral politically by the All India Service Conduct Rule 1968. and promoting of the principles of merit, fairness, and impartiality in the discharge of duty. So while you are dealing with the while you are discharging your duty, you should have maintain the principles of merits. You should always care about the merits and the fairness and impartiality in the discharge of duty. No matter what, you have to talk about the merit. You have to talk about the fairness and impartiality in the discharge of duties. Other things that accountability and transparency. Obviously, in any public service, accountability and transparency is required. Other thing is responsiveness to public participation to weaker section. You have to be responsive to the people towards people, and you have to participate to the weaker section. Codes, courtesies, and good behavior with the people. You have to have with public good behavior. So this is, in India, there is no code of ethics for civil service, though such code exists in other countries. So but we have code of conduct, but not code of ethics. There are significant differences between code of conduct and ethics. So code of conduct is very limited. Code of ethics is very broad, and it is very difficult to pin down and you know you can say jot down in a in a code of ethics. So while code of rules maintaining integrity, absolute devotion to duty, this is keyword, absolute devotion to duty, and not engaging in conduct unbecoming of government servant. Yes, this keyword. You should not conduct involve yourself in conduct unbecoming government servant, and you should maintain absolute integrity and absolute devotion to duty. Absolute devotion to duty. A draft public service bill proposed by the Ministry of Personnel, Public Grievances and Pensions in 2007 seeks to establish a state of generic explanations of civil services known as value. What public service जो bill है उसका ये बोल रहा है कि allegations to various ideas, allegiance to various ideas enshrined in the preamble of the constitution. So public service bills which says that these public servants should have allegiance towards value which is enshrined in the preamble itself. So one should always have this such kind of values which is enshrined in the preambles. That is justice, equality, fraternity, yes, secularism as well. So the so other values are that we should have to have a political functions. We have to a public service bill that public service bill says that we should have a political we should do a political functions functioning right. Uh, the third is that good governance for the betterment of people to primacy goal of civil service. Okay, good governance for the betterment of people to the primary good goal of civil service. Goal, what is goal of civil service? Goal of civil service is good governance, right? Other thing is that due to duty to act objectively and impartiality. So there is a duty to act objectively and impartiality. Fifth is that accountability and transparency in decision making. Obviously, both public service bills and what is called All India Civil Conduct Rule 1968 is saying same thing. Other is saying maintenance of highest ethical standards. We should have maintained highest ethical standard. Ethical standard is there always. Merit to be criteria in the section of civil service consistent, however, with the culture, ethnic, and other diversity of India. So merit should be obviously because what also public service conduct rule 1968 says that merit has to be have the merit is to be become the principles, right? But other things also that we should promote the principles of merit. Also, this public service bill is saying the same thing that we should have a merit to be the criteria of section of civil service consistently. However, with the culture, ethnic, and other diversity of nation has to be have accounted, right? So we should not ignore the diversities of the nations. We should impart the civil servant from those region which untouched with the ministry in India. This is one thing. So we have other thing ensuring economy and avoidance of wastage in expenditure. So this is very important. The public service bill says that we should avoid the wastage of we should avoid the avoidance of wastage in expenditure. And also we should ensuring economy. This is very important because always our government always often there is a lack of resources or human resources in government machinery. So what public service bill says that which has been passed which has been proposed in 2007 that we should always ensure economy and avoidance of wastage expenditure. Other things are provisions of healthy and congenial work environment. So we have congenial work environment and healthy environment. Commitment, consultation, cooperation in the performance of machinery concern. That is the part that is participation of all levels of personnel and in maintenance in maintenance, right? The violation result in major minority penalties in public service overseas implementation. Firstly, this is the one limitation that. So other thing is that how we can strengthen our moral value. Use a public WhatsApp example, Delhi police. How we can build a moral value. Use a public WhatsApp example, Delhi police mentally sensitization gender consent committee cases. So what Delhi police is now doing that it is a monthly sensitization gender cases. Greater involvement with the public. So this is how we can you build the spreading strengthen moral values. We have to have greater involvement with public. Orphanage, old age home to inculcate values orphanage old so we should have a orphanage old age home because when you will have so this is two aspects there are two aspects we can count that either we should have very less or old orphanage home even we have less or old orphanage what we can learn from that we should inculcate the values of of what is called the you would save your parents from going to the orphanage because it is parents which you have which made you so much very educated and very prosperous in your life and which helps you to stand up in your life so other without them you won't able to survive in this world so orphanage old home can inculcate values like this parent care and all so smart there is also a scheme called smart that is smart for me as for sensitive and for sensitive okay and sensitive, responsive technological savvy can only be created with ethical value. So smart something can only be created with ethical value. As for sensitive something, responsive, technical savvy, right? T for technological savvy, right? R for responsive, and SMC sensitive. So sensitive, responsive, technological savvy can only create ethical values, right? So ethical value can be created with the technology like technological savvy, sensitive, responsive. This is one thing. So use the public workshops. In example, Delhi police is also using monthly before they are trying to be sensitized monthly. They are having monthly sensitization program. Gender cases something. This is one thing because they could be able to be very sensitive and respect women. This is utmost requirement and also greater involvement in public. Without involvement in public, you can't have strengthening moral value. This is one thing. So I would like to discuss some examples of ethics which have shown great importance to people. Mostly, I have examples related to the environment, but environment section that you have to take some water. So, so finally, we have discussed what are the ethical examples we have shown seen in case of environment sections as well. So you can see that there are many examples such where many people who have worked for environment and they are known as environmentalists. So to say so Jada Paying he planted a forest on sandbar of Brahmaputra. Okay, so not so much great examples, but yeah, Jada Paying, I salute you. No, Sumaira Abdulali, highest he highlighted noise pollution in sand mining. Yeah, अच्छा, it's signed. Claudio Alvarez, he was a co-host in Immense Songs. Yes, Tulsi Koda is very important for the name. She planted 1 lakh saplings in Karnataka and looks after nurseries of forest department. So she has awarded, I think, Padma Shri or Padma Bhushan, award. Tulsi Koda is very important. And not Chandi Prasad Bhatt. No, Chandi Prasad Bhatt was a personality who also works with Sundarlal Bahuguna in saving the Uttarakhand Chipko Andolo, what we call. So Chandi Prasad Bhatt Savartran on social ecology. So he wrote about social ecology. So there is concept of there are three concepts that is social ecology. One is social ecology, another is deep ecology, and third is the ecofeminism. So the very it comes under environmental ethics. So this is very concept. Somewhere someday I will talk about this. What is social ecology and so basically deep ecology let me talk to you. Basically deep ecology means that we are integral part of nature, so we are not surrounded, we are not separated from nature itself. So this is a plant where both the human and natures are tied together, and if we try to separate from nature, then we will perish. So other social ecology concept is saying that basically it is saying that the exploitation of nature, which is happening right now. The main causing factor is that society itself. Why society? How comes? It is we have created a hierarchy. We have created a logic of dominations, right? And that should become and whatever we create hierarchy we created in our society, either through patriarchy, either through logic of domination, either there is domination of male over women, and this dominations finally led to the formation of our attitude against environment. So we are doing this. We are possessing same attitude that we are possessing against female. That there is male domination over female, and same kind there is a replication of the same attitude towards the environment that we are also thinking environment is subordinate to us. So that's the concept of all the social ecologies. Ecologies. The social here means there's a concept of what this is related to society that there is a domination, there is a casteism, there is a patriarchy, there is logical domination, right? There's a male female domination, so the something like that. So that's the thing. But third is that ecofeminism. What does it say? It says that see, ecofeminism very nice concept. I love it very nicely. That ecofeminism means that it is talking about there is something called the two aspect that is aspects of women and the aspect of environment. It says it says that the kind of exploitations uh, against nature that we are doing right now and is it is the same like that what we are as what we a man as a is doing against women. So it means that the domination of the domination of male by the female is responsible for the destructions or the destructions of the environment, right? So if you really want to address this destructions or the exploitation of nature, what we have to do, we have first and foremost deal with the our uh, uh, problems in social life in family. We have to establish the gender equality in our in family, right? So what we have to create a social friendly environment of behavior, because this unless and until the when social friendly behavior will not be created in our society, we should not we will unless and until we will not treat women equally or we provide the gender equality to her, then we can't save our nature. So because there is the same kind of attitude that we give to the female, and it is the same attribute that we give to the environment. So this is one thing. So eco-family is saying that if you really want to stop the exploitation of environment, then first and foremost thing is that you have to create a gender equality. So there are also one scholars like who talking about the concept of gender equality in a society, basically in family. So you can't create a gender equality in a society unless until you won't have gender equality basically in your family. So first start the gender equality, that is treating every girl equally with the counterpart with the male or boy. Then you will have the concept of gender equality in a basically in a society, and finally in the India, finally in the country, any country in the world. So first, so the basic unit of what we call is socialization is that family is itself just create a friendly order environment, just create a gender neutral environment in a family or in a home, then you will have a gender equality concept in the pervading all over India and world. So that's the whole concept of environmental ethics, and this is linked with also feminist ethics, right? So Chandri Prasad Bhatt he is also subaltern social ecology, and so he also gave the concept basically social ecology as well. This is one aspect. So obviously we don't have so much things. Yeah, there's a concept of very good. I like this Kav, yes, Ghani something. Uh, Abdul Khan, K. Abdul Khan, yes. So he is a personality. He's a man. I love him. What he started the initiative of free ambulance. Very great. Free ambulance. We have heard about the ambulances basically comes with for the survival of the man, but or women. When I say man, it means both gender. So tree ambulance is something the concept given by the K. Abdul Ghani. Basically, it shows the compassion towards tree. What does mean tree ambulance? It works like same as a wherever a tree will be destroying or wherever tree will be destroyed, wherever there will be some any kind of damage to the tree, then this tree ambulance will work for survival for the tree, right? So this is one aspect. K. Abdul Ghani, that concept of uh, tree ambulance. Other is the Jadov Pyawang, and other is Sandeep Prasad Bhatt, who talk about the deep concept ecology or deep social ecology. And other is that basically we have seen Tulsi Koda, sea plant her thousand saplings in Karnataka and finally. So this is very good examples, in environmental ethics or environmental section. So other thing is Frida Kahlo. So this was in news. I have read this 2 years back that about her Frida Kahlo. She is known as known for painting about her experience of chronic pain. Right. So because what we can learn from her is that Frida Kahlo, a Mexican painter, and recognized decades after her death. So a large whale works in fresco established the Mexican. So basically, she is known for establishing a uh, Mexican mural renaissance, mural painting. Her works inspired by nature and artifacts of Mexico. Amrita, yes, I mean she has worked very valiantly, and so as Amrita Sergil is also talking about this, she is known as India's Fidel Kahlo. Why? Because she was most expensive painter of her time. She was among among the painters whose works has were declared as the treasures by the Archaeological Survey of India. So what we can learn about that, so that she inspired by the natures and artifacts of Mexico. So finally, Fidel Kahlo, she is known for painting about her experience of chronic pain. So basically, she was a very in chronic pain. I told you, and within remain in chronic pain, she finally remain in touch with the nature, and finally she have gave the Mexico a moral renaissance. So this is very important. Though you can remain in a chronic pain, but though you can dedicatedly work for the country. So it also shows your true spirit or what is called patriotism towards your country. That is Frida Kahlo, and it is Amita Sehgal is India's Frida Kahlo. Kahlo, Kahlo, and Frida Frida, Frida Kahlo. So we have various examples of ethics. We have seen that. So the example of ethics, we have seen that there is example that man mass wedding in village on the promise of yes, there is a mass wedding means what? When I say mass wedding, it means 800 young men, women tied to the knot. Why? Because the on the promise of Pandratha Markaz at Padan Korai near Gudlaru, basically in Tamil Nadu Kerala boundary. This was held as a fine example of communal harmony. This is a fine example of communal harmony where you will find that there was a mass wedding of 800 young men and women. Also, this even in 2 days back, there was a news regarding the uh, Rajasthan's wedding ceremony, and where there are a lot of the couples married and that's why election commission of India has to announce that we will postpone or we will reschedule our elections. So this is how the social systems also impact our policy implementation. It's a very important example. So this is the same way that mass wedding is in places on the promise of Amrita Markaz. I'm not getting the name. What is wrong? I have read this 2 years back then. So this is basically plays. This is a plays. Uh, this is Islamic educational institution in Nilgiri district of Tamil Nadu. Okay, so this is a Islamic institution, right? Pantha. The name is that Pandthara Markaz. This is Islamic institution where you will find that there is an example of 800 many. So other example of ethics is that Delhi High Court has made available Hindi translation. Uh, Hindi translation of recent judgment on its website. Use of software SC Vidik Anuvad. SC Vidik Anuvad, right? Yes, the name of that Tamil village was Padanparai, and this is education institution Panthara Markaz. Panthara Markaz. No, there is a you can say there is a concept of Delhi High Court. Basically, he has made available Hindi translation of recent judgment on his website. What was the use of software? The name was SC Vidik Anwal. So the growth of Hindi literature. Yes, a very good example of this is that there was when COVID was COVID regime, I would say, was there. What happens is that there is a concept. There was a news that Dolo, we have written Dolo. So, CBDT has accused the Dolo makers of distributing freebies to. So whosoever were Dolo makers, they have been accused of what? They're accused of distributing freebies to doctors to promote its product. Association of Medical Responsibilities and Representative alleges unethical market. This is a pure example on unethical market. Right to life, Article 21. This is comes under this. CBDT has accused this people because this is examples where we can use in ethics in economy. So it comes there's one question that how to organize blood in time summary. So this if you like to discuss this concept, then we have to first there's a concept portal Rakh portal, great portal, and today's government is doing everything very e-governance and making everything like that, right? E-governance concept. Other is the Rakdan Amrit Mahotsav, right? There's one portal Rakdan and Rakh portal and Rakdan Amrit Mahotsav. So this is one time, and through that portal you can able to get blood. Even if you want to give blood, like you can register on this portal. Mm, a lot of notes. All are videos are not. So anyway, I have been, I think, completed the first subject. I don't think so I have much example. Others are very related notes. And so I'm ending the session right now. So it has already uh, one. The session has been, oh yes, like 1.5 hours. So signing off, Murli.